Hey, I'm Mike Schmidt,
And I'm AJ Rivera.
and we're going to show you the Own Your Life model. Now, this is the exact system digital marketing agency owners are using to build predictable, scalable agencies that can run without them. So you can finally make great money, work less, and actually live your life. Now, this is the same system that's helped a lot of our members.
Yeah, Jason, who went from a burnt out touring drummer, barely making ends meet, to building a $1 million agency with just one employee, working from home with his family. Steve, a 20-year-old agency veteran who couldn't step away from sales, finally replacing himself with a team that now closes better than he ever did. And Dave and Anna, who were stuck at 8 to 10 grand months, winging it and close to quitting, honestly, to building a 30K per month agency with real stability and long-term contracts. These are life-changing, right? And you get the idea. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how this works.
Okay, but first, here's what you need to know. Because if you're anything like the agency owners that we work with, you didn't start this business to feel like this. You probably started because you wanted freedom, more time, more money, more control. You wanted to build something that was yours, but somewhere along the way, it started to feel like the opposite. It's 9 p.m., you told yourself you'd be done by 6, but you're back at your laptop again. Maybe a client just messaged with some quick tweak, which turns into 6 more things. Your spouse is already annoyed. And in the back of your mind, here's the thought you really don't say out loud. If 1 or 2 clients cancel right now, I'm in serious trouble. So you keep going, more work, more stress, more pressure. And the crazy part, the more clients you get, the worse it gets. Because now you're buried in delivery. No systems, no team you trust, no clear process, just you holding the whole thing together.
Yeah, then you wake up at 3 a.m. because you forgot to send that proposal or finish that task or follow up with that lead. And underneath all of it, there's this heavier thought. I'm working more than I did at a job and I'm making way less money. And you start wondering, did I build something that can never actually give me what I wanted? Now, here's the part that no one else will tell you. It's not your fault because you've been fed absolute garbage advice.
You've probably been told, just run Facebook ads to get those clients. So you try it and you get a bunch of tire kickers and price shoppers. Because without a real offer and sales process, ads don't fix your business. They just amplify what's already broken. It's like pouring fuel on a fire. You don't get control, you just burn faster. Then they tell you, hey, maybe you should hire a salesperson and step out of that. So you do. You train them, you pay them, and they close nothing. Or worse, they close deals cheaper than you ever would. Because the problem was never the salesperson. It's like handing someone the keys to a car with no map and then blaming them for getting lost.
That's so true. Or maybe you were told, just say yes to everything and be flexible with what clients want. So now every single client is different. Every project is custom. There's no systems. There's no margins. There's no breathing room. You're not running a business. You're just juggling chaos. Or the classic, just niche down and clients will come. So you pick a niche, you rewrite your entire website, and then sit there and nothing happens. Because guess what? A niche alone doesn't create demand. This is the real problem. You've been following one-size-fits-all agency advice from people who have never actually built a real agency, and it's keeping you stuck. Here's what I believe instead. You didn't start your agency to feel trapped. You started it to have freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, the ability to live your life, to go to your kid's soccer game, to take a vacation and leave your laptop at home, to build something that you're actually proud of.
And I'll tell you what, AJ and I, we believe that you deserve that. You deserve predictable income. You deserve a business that doesn't fall apart without you. You deserve clarity, confidence, and control. And you should never have to chase leads again, say yes to bad fit clients just to pay the bills, work nights and weekends just to keep things afloat, or lie awake at 3 a.m. wondering what's about to break. So if the old way is broken, what actually works?
There are just 3 reasons why most agency owners stay stuck. No predictable way to generate leads, no consistent way to close deals, and no scalable way to deliver results without burning out. If you fix those 3 things, that's when everything changes. And that's exactly what the Own Your Life model solves. It's built around 3 simple pillars.
First, attract. This is how you create predictable leads every week. So you're not guessing where your next client's coming from. You connect with the right people, nurture them intentionally, and make offers that actually make them raise their hand. This is what Dave and Anna were missing. They were stuck at 8 to 10K per month, completely inconsistent, saying yes to anyone with a credit card, no pipeline, no clarity. They were honestly close to shutting it down. Once we fixed their attract system, everything changed. They started bringing in the right clients consistently, and they built their way to 30K plus months with real stability. Now let's talk about the second one.
Yeah, second is convert. This is how you create consistent sales without pressure, where prospects show up ready and excited to buy, not because you're good at sales, but because you have a process that does the selling for you. This is where Steve was stuck. He had been running his agency for 20 plus years. He had a great team, but he couldn't step away from sales. Every time he tried, he watched deals get fumbled. I remember there's one deal he coached a rep through and they actually closed it, but it was for $5,000 less than he knew it should have been. And he's thinking, if this keeps happening, I'm losing tens of thousands of dollars. This isn't scalable. So he tried hiring experienced reps. He tried hiring inexperienced reps that he trained up. Nothing worked because everything was in his head. No process, just instinct. Once we installed a real sales system, within 3 months, he was completely out of sales and his team was closing better than he was. That's when you stop owning a job and start owning a business.
All right, so we just covered the 2 areas. Let's talk about the third, which is all about delivery. This is how you scale without becoming the bottleneck, so you can grow without drowning in work. You build repeatable services, systems that guarantee results, and the right fulfillment structure to handle the growth. Now, this is what Jason mastered. He was literally getting on planes, flying around the world as a drummer, missing time with his young family, burnt out and stuck. He almost didn't do this because it sounded too good to be true. And he thought, I'm not a business guy. What if I screw this up? But he took the shot, followed the process, got his first client, then another, until he had 54 clients, and then scaled it to $1 million agency with just 1 employee. Now he's home with his family, making more money than ever, and it's just an incredible story.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens when you fix your lead flow, when you systemize your sales process, and when you build delivery that doesn't depend on you. And the best part is this isn't theory. This is what we've been doing for over 22 years, building a real agency that runs without us.
So here's what happens next. Around this video, you'll see a link where you can download what we have here, which is the Own Your Life model. I'm gonna walk you through this. This is an exercise for you to evaluate where your agency is today so we can spot the opportunities. So follow along with us. We're gonna be giving you some definitions of each of the categories so you can evaluate yourself. And this is gonna be amazing context for us to enter a call with so we can jump into coaching right away, okay? All right, so again, this is the Own Your Life model. And at the center, AJ, what have we got?
This is all about owning your agency so that you can own your life. Too many agency owners are trapped by the very businesses that they've built. And there's usually 3 main reasons that is holding them back from owning their life.
All right, the first one is they have poor lead flow, right? They don't have consistent leads coming in. They don't know when the next lead's coming in. They're highly dependent on word of mouth. And you often catch yourself saying, I just wish I had more leads, okay? The second reason why agencies don't have an agency that they own and it ends up owning them is that they have an awkward sales process.
Yeah, they're not following a consistent sales process, or they just feel weird and they're kind of reinventing things every single time they talk to a new prospect.
And finally, in addition to poor lead flow and awkward sales process, they may have some doubt in their ability to deliver.
Yeah, and that's either their ability to get results or maybe that what they're doing for the client is the right thing that they should be focused on. But in some way, they're just not confident about what they're delivering.
Right. So we don't want poor lead flows. What we want instead is actually always having hot leads.
The hot leads are the best, right? And when we have those in our business, we feel really good about the predictability of lead flow that's coming in.
Right. In order to own your life, you not only have to have hot leads, but you have to have effortless conversions as well.
And these are those sales that just seem super easy, right? Somebody came to you, they're the right person, they know they need help, they view you as an expert, and they're willing to pay for the services that you can provide.
And finally, we don't want to doubt our ability to deliver. We actually want to deliver big for our clients and work less.
Yeah, being able to get results is huge, but we want to do it in a way that we're not always buried by it as well.
So how do we actually go about doing this? Now, each of these 3 sides have strategic points that we need to make sure are well done, that are well defined, and that we can consider these things kind of green lighted, right? So what I'm going to ask you to do is, as we move through each of these sections, to think through, am I green on this, right? Meaning I'm achieving it well, that I'm meeting that expectation, or is it on the opposite end? Is it red, where it's a really kind of a challenge or a problem, or is it somewhere in the middle? Now, the great news is AJ is going to give us some definitions to go by so we can do them one at a time.
And I'm definitely going to challenge you guys. There's no green, yellow, there's no red, yellow. It's like choose one. Either
Right.
you're red, you're yellow, or you're green.
Right. And doing that and being honest with it is going to give us the best opportunity to coach you when you jump into the call. All right. So let's talk about hot leads. Agencies always want hot leads. Many of the people that come into our world, that's often something we work with them, is how to turn a situation for where they don't have hot leads to that's happening consistently. It's kind of like a restaurant, right? Like how many days would a restaurant operate not having people come in the door before they said, we should probably do something about this?
Yeah, 100%. And the first thing that you need in order to always have hot leads is you need to be able to connect with your ideal client. Now, ideal is the operative word there. And I'm going to give you the definition for green. And again, I just want you to evaluate yourself, green, yellow, red, based off of that definition. So the definition is I consistently attract new leads through both paid, organic, and in real life strategies, ensuring a steady flow of ideal prospects entering my world.
Okay. So think about that for a second. And is that true for you? If it's very true that you consistently attract new leads through both paid and organic and in real life strategies and a steady flow of ideal leads, that would be a green. And if it's the opposite of that, it might be red, or maybe you're in between. So go ahead and decide what that looks like for you and go ahead and mark that as well.
Awesome. The next thing that you need is intentional lead nurture, right? And what the green definition on this is my lead nurture building efforts run on autopilot across multiple channels, including email, social, content, video, etc., ensuring leads stay engaged and consistently move closer to working with me. So I don't care if they're on your email list, I don't care if they're a follower on social media, you're doing things to nurture that relationship and help bring them closer to raising their hand to work with you.
Right. And so this is working with you on autopilot, and it's building stronger relationships. So answer the question, what are you there? Are you green, or yellow, or red in that?
Awesome. Third thing that we need is hands raised, right? And the green definition on this is I make strategic offers that result in ideal prospects actively asking for help and taking the next step. Man, sales is so much easier when somebody asks you for help, right? So when you can get somebody to raise their hand and say, hey, AJ, I do want to hear more about how you can help me build a website or how you can help me with SEO. That's so much easier. And so are you making offers that result in people actually asking you for help? If you are, then that's green. If not, you might be yellow or red.
Right.
If you've got an email list and you've not sent them an offer ever, right? Or you're not talking to them, you're probably red.
Right. Yeah, and that's been one of my superpowers for a long time, is just getting other people to ask me for help, because that's way easier to sell them than me trying to convince them that they need me. So, all right, so we've just covered this first side. How we always have hot leads is we connect with our ideal clients, we intentionally lead nurture them, right, and build a relationship, and we get them to raise their hand to enter our sales process, and that's where we're headed next. So we don't want an awkward sales process, we want effortless conversions. So where do we start with that, AJ?
First thing is having a consistent sales process. And so green definition on this is I follow a consistent sales process with every prospect, and they show up excited, qualified, and ready, right? So are you speaking to every single lead and taking them through the same set of steps each time? Steps that are documented, not just in your head. And are they coming up excited, qualified, and ready?
Right. A couple of tests you can think about is like, could I give this process to someone else to follow? Or do you find yourself maybe picking different solutions or proposals that you created in the past and think, oh, this one's just like this one, and you kind of update the name and the price and send it off?
In there.
Is this something where you maybe feel a bit more like an order taker, right? Client comes to you and says, we need a website or we need Facebook ads, and 100% they're going to get that thing, even though that might not be the thing they need. Right? You take them through that process consistently over and over again. And so go ahead and rate yourself on that. And that would be green, yellow, or red. And you can go ahead and we'll jump into the next one.
All right. Next one is your ability to actually sign clients, right? And so green on this would be when you do actually take somebody through a sales process, you're converting a high percentage of those prospects into monthly recurring revenue for the right dollar amounts, right? You're charging what you're worth. You're not undercharging. You're not doing a bunch of one-time projects. You're building your business on monthly recurring revenue. And when people come to you and they ask for your help and you take them through your process, most of them are saying yes.
Yeah, so go ahead and give yourself an evaluation on that, green, yellow, or red. Again, no wrong answers here. The more honest you are here, the better. And I know sometimes it can be hard to pick green, yellow, or red, and your tendency is, I wish I could do orange on this here, because I don't suck at it, but I'm not awesome, right?
Yeah.
I would just lean in the direction that feels most true, and the more honest you are with this process, the quicker that we'll be able to get to the bottom of what your actions are on the call. This whole model is going to paint a picture of where you're at, and many times we can spot patterns that will point out to you that will seem obvious once you see it through our eyes. So with that, let's keep on moving through the next part. What do we got next, AJ?
Cool. So the third piece of effortless conversions is ascending and stacking monthly recurring revenue. So green definition on this is I have an ascension process that increases my monthly recurring revenue with existing clients. So are you the type of agency where, somebody comes in and buys something and that's probably all they're going to have unless they ask for more? Or are you actively going after clients and saying, hey, we've been doing SEO for you for a while, and maybe it's time we do pay-per-click, or let's add on Facebook ads, or let's add on retargeting, or are you really just sitting there waiting for them to ask you for additional help with things?
Right. MRR stands for monthly recurring revenue. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
Yeah.
When we have that revenue coming in every single month, things get easier and more predictable. And what I find is many agencies, they have what we would refer to as half-built value ladders, as in that client came in, bought the one thing, and we had every intention to sell them more things that we could do, but it seems sometimes safer to let them rest, or we're so busy doing other things that we never go back to them. So is it true for you that you go back to your clients, that you show them what else you could help them with, and that they enroll in more and more of your services, thereby gaining more wallet share from them every time you interact with them? So green, yellow, red on that.
Yep.
Okay, so we've covered always hot leads, which is a big topic. We've talked about having a sales process that feels effortless and easy, and it's closing deals, and we're stacking monthly recurring revenue. Let's round it out with our not doubting in delivery, but delivering big while working less. What does that mean?
Yes. In order to do that, the first thing that we need is an irresistible offer, right? This is a preset list of services that is appealing to prospects, profitable, and produces results, right? All those things need to be true in order for it to be green in this category.
Would you say that the people who put green in this, they like love the services that they're offering?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's got to be things that they want to do as well, right? A lot of times we're really identifying things that maybe they don't want to do, but they've done for a really long time.
Or it's expected of them.
Yeah, 100%, right? And we want to really align this with what you want to do and what you feel good about offering to somebody, and where you know that you can deliver value and make money while doing it.
Yeah, this is an important one, because agencies that love the thing that they sell and believe in it, and it's also irresistible to the clients that they want, those are the ones that can scale.
Yeah.
When there's a little story in your brain saying that this isn't the right thing or the right combination of things, and this is becoming even bigger with the advent of AI, of like, are there things that are in here that should be addressing that? There's a lot of conversations that are happening there. So go ahead and value yourself green, yellow, red on that. Once we have an irresistible offer, then what do we need?
Well, we need bulletproof delivery, right? And so when you sell something, is your project delivery for those things that you're selling consistent? And do you adhere to that with every project? Just like with the sales process, right? Is it in your head, or do you have documented SOPs and processes that you could give to somebody else potentially and then follow it in the same way that you would? Or is it just kind of Wild West, right? Like you're doing it different every time and you're just figuring it out as you go. Or maybe you're doing like snowflake projects where every project's different and there is no way to develop a process because you don't ever do anything the same. Right?
Yeah, custom is the enemy of scale, and if you want a lot of chaos in your life, do a lot of custom. And so go ahead and evaluate yourself on that there.
Yep.
And let's round it out. We've got irresistible offer. We got a bulletproof delivery. What else do we need in order to have the ability to deliver big and work less?
We need to have the right fulfillment resources, right? And so green on this would mean you have the right team and resources and software that, let's say that on a normal month, maybe you have 4 sales. Could you handle 8 sales, double the amount that you normally have in a single month, and still be able to handle that workload without it impacting your ability to still do sales and marketing for your business? Or would you just get completely buried and not be able to fulfill on that?
Right. Now, we never want to be in a position, and I know we've been there in the past, which is the client just said yes, and you would think we'd be high-fiving, and all we can think of is, man, that sucks because I just gave up my night, my weekends, and where am I going to fit this in?
Yeah, or even worse, before they say yes, you deliver the proposal and you're secretly crossing your fingers under the table, hoping they'll say no, hoping they'll say no to giving you money and giving you business. That's a horrible spot to be in, right? And it's usually just because you don't have the right fulfillment resources in place to be able to handle that.
Awesome. So go ahead and give yourself a green, yellow, red on that. And this picture is a map at this point. This is going to give us a window into where you're at. I suspect you're already having some aha moments and some breakthroughs just by seeing this. But one of the powerful things that's going to happen on the call is that we're going to be able to look at this and be able to draw connections between the different parts of this model that you may not have seen. And we can also help you prioritize where to start and what is the key moment or the highest leverage thing you can do now to create relief and positivity and growth in your agency, ultimately leading to the point where you can truly say that you own your agency and own your life.
Yeah, 100%. Every single one of these red ones, or maybe even a yellow one, is a bottleneck that is preventing your agency from getting to that next stage of growth. And when we can identify where those bottlenecks are and brainstorm ways to get around those, that's where we begin to scale and scale and scale. And so this is going to be awesome for us to go through. And hopefully you've learned a lot just by going through this process, but you're going to learn a lot more on the call, and we'll be able to really dive into where you need to go with your agency.
So we'll see you on the call. This was your first step. Congrats on moving through this, and can't wait to see you real soon.